Hey College Success, this is your final video for your final project. So up to this point, I've already uploaded multiple videos. So if you're in our course under the Lessons tab, I have a lot more showing than you will at this point. But you'll have a whole folder called Final Project Videos. You'll have the access to the directions, and then I have broken it down by steps 1 and 2, steps 3 and 4, and then step 5. So you are seeing it kind of broken apart. So this video is just going to real quickly recap what it is you're doing so that hopefully you can polish or finish, hopefully not just now start, your final project, since it is due in the final week of the semester, which if we look here, I will remind you that week 16, as noted right here, is on a Friday. The last day of the week 16 is Friday, December 18th. So you don't have that weekend. So it really does it might feel like it's cutting a lot off. So week 16 is done on a Friday. So please keep that in mind. Make sure you're aware of that as you're working on finishing up your final project. So looking at the directions, here is a recap of what you're doing. This is all a PowerPoint, so please don't send me like a paper, although you are certainly welcome, if that's your process, to write it all out paper format first and then maybe kind of plug it into a PowerPoint, but you are creating a PowerPoint. So the first slide after your title slide is your description of your career. So telling me about a paragraph in length, what kind of responsibilities, tasks, duties, expectations that you're going to have to carry on a daily basis as a person in your field. And as a reminder, we said you could find this kind of information in Career Coach. You know, when you go to Browse Careers, you can find your career and it'll give you, it stopped a little earlier. Here we go. It'll give you all this information about, you can go through there, it'll show you some more. That is one place you can go, is the Career Coach. Another place is the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Remember, you can search up here and you can plug in your field and it'll take you to the best match, and you can go through, and this one I think gives a lot of good information. It's really easy to navigate. The other one, what we talked about, was the ONET Online, where you can also do a search up here. And this one, I said, is almost overwhelming with how much it gives you, but it's another place to kind of get that information. So that's the very first slide of content. Your first actual slide was more than likely going to be your title slide. So your first step of content is a description of your career. Second second content slide is the overview of your career pathway. So it could be like step 1, get an associate's degree in education. Step 2, get a bachelor's degree in middle childhood education. Step 3, take the praxis exam. Step 4, student teach. So that's kind of the step-by-step, whatever career you're in, you know, what steps do you have to take to get there? And you can just list it like I just did, 1, 2, 3, 4. Some people make a flow chart. Some people kind of just list it out. It's really up to you how you navigate that. And everyone's is going to look a little different. Some of you may only have 2 steps. Some of you may have 7 steps. It just really depends what your career is and what's going to be necessary out of that career. And you can find that information in the exact same locations as the first slide content. Career Coach, BLS, or ONET is going to talk about your education and things needed there as well. Step 3 and 4 you can find from very similar places as well. Step 3 is you're creating a slide that talks about a credible professional organization affiliated with your career, like the National Organization of, the Professional Association of, or for your career, and you're going to tell me a little bit about them. So a couple sentences like what's their purpose, why were they formed, why do they exist, and then what are benefits of joining that organization if you were to join? What would someone benefit from? Maybe it's a reduced price on conferences, maybe you get free monthly newsletters, maybe you get to network with other professionals. Whatever the benefits could be, that's what you'll put in part 3, and you can do that by a Google search, and if you watch my video for steps 3 and 4, I'll talk more about that in detail. Step 4 is the careers code of conduct. So oftentimes you might find that in the same exact spot as your organization, because they usually have like a little link that says ethical responsibilities or code of conduct or ethical guidelines. And so you're just going to kind of summarize, how is someone expected to behave professionally as a member of this field? What are some guidelines you have to adhere to, whether it's in the health field because there's like issues with privacy, or maybe it's in the IT field or the culinary field, whatever it might be. What are some guidelines ethically that you have to follow? And then step 5 is your reference slide. You want to make sure throughout this whole thing that you are jotting down where you're getting your information so that when it comes time to plug in your reference slide, APA format, you are doing so correctly. APA format is not just a list of websites. That's not APA. So you need to make sure that you go back to my step 5 video if you're not sure what I mean by APA and look to see kind of what that could look like. Before you submit, I encourage you to take a look at the rubric because this is what I use to grade. So take a look and see, do you have all the requirements that you're supposed to have? Is it in a logical sequence? Basically, is it kind of following along that guided, step 1, step 2, and so on? Are all your references included on that reference slide? And then how in-depth did you go? Did you give a nice description? Did you explain things well? Did you hit all the things you were supposed to hit? So I would just check against all of that as you're going through and getting ready to submit your final project. When you go to submit, go back into your lessons tab, and under final project videos, I just put the Dropbox in there so that you could just submit it right in there. So you're kind of looking through the videos, your directions are right there. You can just submit at the same time. So hopefully that makes it a little easy for you. All right, so that is your last overview of your final project. Please reach out if you want me to take a look and give you feedback before you submit it. You can send it to me via Blackboard message or through my email before you actually submit it in the Dropbox. So please reach out if you want me to give you some feedback and comments before you submit for final grading, and let me know if you have any questions. All right, thanks.